All right, new episode of Clones and Niche Upgrades coming your way. Hey Fragrance family, I'm David and I'm a fragrance bro. Of course, your best source for everything fragrance related. Today I have another episode in my Clones and Niche Upgrade series. Now this series is all about talking about fragrances that may be similar to each other. Not necessarily clones, I don't really like clones, but maybe you just want an upgrade. You like the designer fragrances of the past that you've had, but you want maybe a niche alternative of what you had that is maybe improved in some way. These are those type of fragrances. All right, first on the list are two fragrances, and that is Versace Man and Ristretto Intense Cafe by Montal. Versace Man is a fantastic fragrance that came out several years ago and got a lot of love. It has kind of that kind of cocoa, coffee, cream, and maybe a little bit of lavender on top type of fragrance. And it is really likable. I remember wearing it a few times and really enjoying it when I did. But recently, Ristretto Intense Cafe came out and it has a very similar vibe to this, but I would say that it's just improved upon that. And that's what I really like about this. This is super, super strong. Got this recently and just fell in love with it. It's a wonderful fragrance that is very much in that coffee type of vibe, but creamy, and has maybe a little bit of caramel on top. I think there's some rose in there as well. It's a little bit different than Versace Man, but it gives kind of a similar vibe, and that's what I really like about that. And just for kicks, I'm gonna also add Caf Cabin Elle by Cabin Elle that goes a little bit more in the patchouli realm, but still hangs around that coffee, kind of creamy type of thing. I think Cabin Elle lends a little bit more masculine than Ristretto Intense Cafe does. That some people may prefer this over the other one. Both of these smell pretty different from each other, but they both kind of share a commonality that it's that creamy coffee kind of chocolatey thing going on with some florals on top. And that is very similar to how kind of Versace Man was constructed. They're not really clones, I would say, but they're in that kind of family. And that's why I think these are kind of upgrades to Versace Man. Next is Invictus by Paco Rabanne, and then Future Fiction by Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements, and then Date for Men by Jeremy Fragrance. I know I'm gonna get some flack for all three of these here, but these are pretty similar in the way that they're made here. I do not like Invictus by Paco Rabanne. I think it's very kind of just harsh and synthetic and not likable at all. So both of these I think are improvements upon Invictus. Date for Men reminds me a lot of Invictus, a lot. And I haven't smelled them side by side, but whenever I wear this, it immediately reminds me of Invictus. It brings back that kind of scent memory that is hard to fool. And so Date for Men is a lot like that. I don't know if it's necessarily much of an upgrade. It's stronger than the original Invictus, but as far as smell, I'm not really sold on it being much of an upgrade, but it's there. It has that kind of generic kind of mall type of thing that Invictus has. It's not doing anything new. I'll have a full review of this in the future, so just stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, it's kind of an Invictus type of thing. Now, Future Fiction by Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements is different. It is very different from the other two. It doesn't really smell like a clone of Invictus per se, but it does smell similar. I get kind of a Nautica and Polo type of reference in this as well, which is different from Invictus and I think is better than that. But there's something in here that it just kind of shares that kind of aquatic, salty, kind of citrusy thing that Invictus has, but does it a little bit better. These are also eau de parfums. They last a lot longer, and I think they're just made better. So yeah, definitely check out Future Fiction if you want kind of a similar Invictus vibe. All right, next is Skulls and Roses by Ed Hardy, and then Caput Mundi by Tiziana Terenzi. Now, I did a video recently talking about Caput Mundi and how I love this bottle. I mean, it's just an amazing bottle. Really, really love that. But I'm gonna have a full review of this coming up. But Caput Mundi is incredible, an absolute masterpiece. Sandalwood, rose, spices, maybe a little bit of citrus in there, an amazing sandalwood type of fragrance. Really love this a lot. But then recently I got Skulls and Roses, and I was legitimately impressed at Skulls and Roses. Now, the bottle is terrible. I hate this bottle. I know some of you guys will just really love this. I hate it. It looks really fake. I do not like it at all. And when you smell these side by side, you can definitely see that there is a similarity, but there's also a slight difference there. The main difference, I think, between these is that Skulls and Roses smells cheaper. And you can't really blame them for being cheaper. I think it's in like the $30 range for this type of fragrance. But what I will say is it's very similar in its vibe to Caput Mundi. Kaput Mundi though just does it 100 times better, and it's richer and it's smoother and it just is fuller and better in every type of way. You can smell the quality in this for sure. This one smells cheaper, but if you want to get in the ballpark, it's very similar. And I was legitimately amazed that there would be a fragrance this cheap that would get anywhere in the ballpark to Kaput Mundi. But yeah, Kaput Mundi, still great, but you have a cheaper option there. So yeah, pretty cool. All right, my last two choices here are Versace Pour Homme by Versace and Opulent Shake number 77. Now, I did a review of this recently and I was really blown away by this fragrance. I really love this, especially the bottle. I think the bottle is incredible. The scent is also very good, a very complex type of scent. It is somewhat aquatic, it is somewhat floral, it's somewhat woody. It goes all over the place. It takes you on a journey from top to bottom. I really, really love that. I know some people have compared this to maybe Original Santal by Creed. And I had a couple people tell me that, but I don't really get that at all. I'm not exactly sure why they thought that. Maybe we're smelling something that's a little bit different or something. I'm not really sure. To me, what I get is very similar to Versace Pour Homme. When this starts, I get exactly what I get from Versace Pour Homme. Then it heads off into a complete different direction with jasmine and some woods. So it's a little bit different from that. But I would say if you like Versace Pour Homme and you want something that is better, that is a niche alternative to that just does it better in every way, check out Opulent Shake number 77. I don't think you'll be disappointed. It's great. So that is all I have. Thank you for watching. What do you think of these fragrances? What are some fragrances you think smell similar? Maybe they're designer alternatives or niche upgrades. Let me know in the comments. I'd love to know your thoughts. With that, I'd like to thank my sponsor, Fragrance X. Fragrance X is an online retailer that sells thousands of legitimate fragrances for a discounted price. If you're considering buying a fragrance, definitely check out Fragrance X. I'll have a link down below to them as well as a coupon. If you like these type of videos, I have a playlist up here where you can watch more clones and niche upgrades. And also, feel free to smash that like, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that little bell so you get a notification every time I make an upload. I'll see you next time. I'm Dave with the Fragrance Bros. Bye.